Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to be doing a deep dive into emotional wellness.
Okay.
Something that really impacts like every single one of us, right?
Absolutely.
So we've got a fantastic set of resources here.
Okay.
A practical toolkit from the National Institutes of Health, an insightful article from Medical News Today,
Right.
and the American Heart Association's take on well-being, particularly at work. It's pretty fascinating how all of these sources kind of point to undeniable connection between our emotional well-being and our overall health.
It really is. It's like a paradigm shift, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're finally moving beyond this idea that physical health exists in a silo.
Right.
The more we learn, the more it becomes clear that emotional, mental, and physical well-being are all intertwined.
Okay, so before we jump into like all the strategies and tips and everything,
Sure.
how do these sources actually define emotional well-being? What does it actually mean to be emotionally well?
Well, both the NIH and Medical News Today, they emphasize the ability not just to cope with life's ups and downs, but to thrive amidst them.
Oh, interesting.
It's about adaptability, resilience, and having the inner resources to navigate challenges without being completely derailed.
Resilience.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
It is.
It's almost like having a superpower,
Yeah.
that ability to bounce back from setbacks, to like learn and grow from difficult experiences.
Yeah, think of it this way. Resilience is like having shock absorbers for your life.
Oh.
Okay.
When you hit a bump in the road, those shock absorbers, they keep you from going off course.
Mm-hmm.
They help you maintain stability and keep moving forward.
Right.
But without them, even a small bump can feel like a major earthquake.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's where things can get tricky. Medical News Today points out that when our emotional well-being is low, we become more susceptible to stress, anxiety,
Oh, wow.
even physical health issues.
Really?
Things like high blood pressure or a weakened immune system. It's powerful.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that neglecting our emotional health can have real consequences.
Wow, it really puts things in perspective, huh?
It does.
And speaking of things that impact our emotional well-being, Medical News Today, they have this whole list
Yeah.
of factors, like everything from work and relationships to major life changes like retirement.
It's a lot to consider.
It is, but there's one common thread
Yeah.
that weaves through all three sources:
Okay.
the impact of social connections.
Right.
Why are those relationships so important for our emotional health?
Researchers are discovering that social connections are like the scaffolding that supports our emotional well-being. They
Well,
provide
that's-
us with a sense of belonging, purpose, and security.
Right.
And this is something that the American Heart Association emphasizes,
Right.
especially in the workplace. It's about fostering an environment where colleagues feel connected,
Yeah.
valued, empowered.
I like that.
Yeah.
It makes you realize that those water cooler chats and those team lunches
Right.
aren't just about passing the time.
Exactly.
They're actually contributing to a healthier, more resilient workforce.
That's the idea.
So we've talked about the why.
Yes.
Why emotional well-being matters, what influences it.
Right.
Now let's get to the how.
Okay.
The NIH toolkit
Yeah.
lays out 6 practical strategies for boosting emotional wellness. And I love how actionable they are. It's not just vague advice.
No.
It's like a roadmap
Yes.
for creating positive.
Absolutely. And what's interesting is that these strategies, they all tap into core principles of building resilience, managing stress, and cultivating meaningful connections.
So let's unpack a few of those strategies, starting with building resilience.
Okay.
What are some key takeaways from the NIH toolkit on this?
Well, the toolkit emphasizes a holistic approach to resilience,
Okay.
focusing on both physical and mental well-being. It's about prioritizing those foundational habits, like getting enough sleep, engaging in physical activity, and nourishing your body with a balanced diet.
Makes sense.
But it goes beyond the physical.
Oh,
Yeah, it's also about cultivating a positive mindset,
right.
practicing gratitude, finding purpose, and reframing challenges as opportunities for growth.
It's so easy to get caught up in the daily grind and forget about those basic self-care practices.
It really is.
But hearing you describe it like that,
Yeah.
building resilience as a holistic endeavor, it really highlights how interconnected everything is.
Exactly. And it's not about perfection.
Right.
It's about making small, sustainable changes.
Okay, so we've got the foundation, those healthy habits.
Yeah.
But what about managing stress?
Okay.
Because stress is an inevitable part of life.
It is.
Both the NIH Toolkit and Medical News Today, they highlight mindfulness and breathing exercises as effective stress management tools.
Yeah.
So what's the science behind those?
Well, both mindfulness and breathing exercises tap into our body's natural relaxation response. When we engage in these practices, we're signaling to our nervous system to calm down, to shift from that fight or flight mode to a state of rest and digest.
You know, I used to be skeptical about breathing exercises.
Really?
Yeah, but one time I was super anxious before a presentation.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like my heart was racing, palms were sweating, the whole 9 yards.
I've been there.
And a friend suggested a simple breathing technique.
Okay.
Just a few rounds of slow, deep breaths. And I was amazed at how quickly my anxiety subsided.
That can be really powerful, right?
It is, yeah.
And it's not just anecdotal evidence. Research shows that practices like mindfulness and breathing exercises can reduce stress hormones, lower blood pressure, and improve emotional regulation.
It really is remarkable.
It is.
Okay, so we've talked about building resilience, managing stress. Another key strategy that the NIH Toolkit emphasizes is getting quality sleep.
Yes.
We all know how important sleep is.
Right.
But it's so easy to sacrifice it.
Right. It is. And that's a mistake.
Why is that?
Well, adequate sleep, it's not just about feeling rested.
Oh.
It plays a crucial role in emotional regulation, cognitive function, and even physical health.
I see.
Research actually shows that chronic sleep deprivation is linked to an increased risk of serious health problems. Heart disease, stroke, diabetes.
Wow, I knew sleep was important.
Yeah.
But I had no idea the consequences could be so far-reaching.
It's a big deal.
This is a real wake-up call.
Right?
To prioritize those Z's.
Absolutely.
And speaking of prioritizing our well-being, let's go back to the power of social connections.
Sure.
The NIH suggests joining a hobby group or volunteering as ways to strengthen those ties.
What's fascinating is that even small acts of kindness, like helping a neighbor or volunteering, they can have a huge impact on your emotional well-being.
How so?
They foster a sense of belonging, purpose, and connection.
Right.
All essential ingredients for happiness and resilience.
It's like a win-win. You're contributing to something larger than yourself while also boosting your own well-being.
Exactly.
But of course, life isn't always sunshine and roses.
No, it's not.
The NIH Toolkit also acknowledges the tough stuff.
Yeah.
Like coping with loss and grief.
It's part of life.
It is. So what are some tips for navigating those times?
Well, loss is inevitable, and it's essential to allow yourself to feel those emotions.
Okay.
Don't bottle them up.
Right.
The toolkit suggests seeking support from friends, family, or support groups. It also mentions the potential benefits of professional help if needed.
That's important to remember.
It is.
That it's okay to ask for help.
Absolutely.
And that there are resources available to support us
That's right.
during those challenging times.
You know, while we focused on the NIH Toolkit, Medical News Today and the American Heart Association
offer some additional insights worth exploring.
Okay, let's dive into those. Medical News Today highlights the importance of cultivating a positive mindset and practicing self-compassion.
It's essential.
It is.
It's about shifting that internal dialogue from self-criticism to self-kindness.
I like that.
Yeah, instead of beating ourselves up over mistakes, we can acknowledge that everyone makes mistakes.
Right.
And treat ourselves with understanding and compassion.
Like we would a friend.
Exactly.
And the American Heart Association has some tips specifically for improving well-being at work.
They do.
What are some of their recommendations?
Well, they emphasize the importance of building a culture of well-being within the workplace, starting with simple things, encouraging employees to take breaks, move around, connect with colleagues, and prioritize their mental health.
That's great.
They also suggest setting realistic goals, prioritizing tasks, practicing gratitude, and not being afraid to ask for help when needed. It's fantastic that they highlight the role of employers in creating a supportive work environment.
It's crucial.
Because when you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, it's hard to prioritize your well-being, even if you know you should.
It's true. A supportive workplace can make all the difference.
Yeah, it really underscores the idea that well-being isn't just an individual responsibility.
Right.
It's something that organizations need to prioritize as well.
Absolutely.
As we've been talking about these strategies,
Yeah.
I'm struck by the fact that they all require a certain level of self-awareness.
That's a good point.
It's about understanding our needs, recognizing our stress triggers, and identifying what truly brings us joy.
You've hit on a crucial point.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is the foundation for any meaningful change. It's like having a compass that guides us towards what nourishes us
I like that.
and helps us steer clear of what depletes us.
Speaking of nourishment,
Yes.
I found the NIH Toolkit's emphasis on finding meaning and purpose to be particularly intriguing.
It is an important aspect.
It's not just about feeling good.
Right.
It's about connecting with something larger than ourselves.
Absolutely. Research shows that having a sense of purpose is linked to greater happiness, resilience, and even longevity.
Really?
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be something monumental.
Oh.
It could be as simple as dedicating your time to a cause you care about, pursuing a passion project, or being a loving and supportive presence in the lives of your loved ones.
It's about aligning our actions with our values,
Yes,
finding that sweet spot
exactly.
where our passions and contributions intersect.
That's it.
And I think that's where self-compassion comes in again.
Okay.
Because, let's be honest,
Yeah.
the journey of self-improvement isn't always linear.
It's not, no.
There will be setbacks.
Of course.
There will be times when we fall short of our own expectations.
And that's where self-compassion becomes so crucial.
Okay.
It's about offering ourselves the same kindness and understanding that we would offer a friend. Instead of berating ourselves for our imperfections,
Right.
we can acknowledge that we're all works in progress,
I like that.
and that setbacks are opportunities for learning and growth.
It's like that saying, progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
It's a reminder to be patient,
Yes.
to celebrate small wins, and to view challenges as stepping stones, not roadblocks.
I love that.
One thing that I found helpful in my journey
Yeah.
of cultivating emotional well-being
Okay.
is the practice of gratitude.
Oh, interesting.
The NIH Toolkit mentions that as well.
It's a powerful practice.
It is, yeah.
When we focus on the good in our lives, it shifts our perspective
Right.
and helps us appreciate the abundance that already exists.
It's like training our minds to savor those simple joys.
I like that.
I think that kind of mindset shift can make a world of difference,
It can.
especially when you're feeling stressed.
Absolutely.
Speaking of stress,
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear more about the American Heart Association's perspective
Okay.
on workplace well-being. They seem to be advocating for a more holistic approach to employee health.
They are. They're emphasizing the importance of creating a workplace culture that prioritizes well-being.
Not just productivity.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that healthy, happy employees are more engaged, more creative, and ultimately more productive.
So it's not just about ticking boxes
No.
on a corporate wellness program.
Right.
It's about creating a culture where employees feel supported, valued, and empowered to prioritize their well-being.
That's the goal.
It's almost like shifting
Yeah.
from a culture of survival to a culture of thriving.
I love that analogy.
And I think that shift can have a ripple effect,
It can.
not just within the organization,
Right.
but in the lives of employees and their families.
It's about creating a positive feedback loop where everyone benefits.
While we've been discussing these strategies
Yeah.
in the context of individual and workplace well-being, I think it's important to acknowledge that systemic factors play a role.
That's an important point.
Things like access to healthcare, affordable housing,
Right.
quality education,
Those all matter.
all of that can impact our emotional well-being.
Absolutely.
It's about recognizing that well-being isn't just an individual responsibility.
It's bigger than that.
It's also influenced by the environments and systems we live in.
For sure.
And it's about advocating for policies that promote equity and support the well-being of all members of our society.
That's the ultimate goal.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive
We have.
into emotional well-being. We've explored the importance of building resilience, managing stress, cultivating meaningful connections,
Right.
practicing self-compassion, and finding meaning and purpose.
It's been a great discussion.
It has. And we've touched on the role that both individuals and organizations play
Yes.
in creating a culture of...
We've only just scratched the surface.
Right.
There's so much more to learn and explore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All the links to the resources we've mentioned are in the show notes.
Right.
But before we wrap up,
Okay.
I want to leave our listeners with something to ponder.
Okay. I like that.
Something to spark further exploration.
I'm all ears. I'm all ears.
As we wrap up,
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts
Okay.
on how our approach to emotional well-being might evolve over time.
Okay.
Do the strategies we've talked about
Yeah.
need to adapt
Right.
as we move through like different stages of life?
It's a great question, and I think the answer is yes.
Okay.
Our needs and priorities naturally shift
Okay.
as we age. What helps a young adult navigate the challenges of starting a career and building relationships
Right.
might look different from what supports someone in retirement
I see.
who's looking for a sense of purpose.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like a teenager
Right.
grappling with identity and social pressures
Yeah,
might benefit from strategies focused on self-esteem.
absolutely. Learn communication skills.
Right.
While someone facing a health challenge
Yeah.
might need to prioritize stress management,
That's right.
cultivate resilience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even seemingly positive transitions like retirement
Oh.
can bring challenges.
Like what?
Think about the shift in identity
Right.
that comes with leaving a long-held career,
Yeah.
or the potential for social isolation
That's true.
if those work connections
Right.
aren't replaced with other meaningful relationships.
It highlights the importance of being proactive,
It does.
recognizing that emotional well-being
Yeah.
isn't a destination.
It's a journey.
It's an ongoing journey.
Exactly.
We need to be attuned to our evolving needs and adapt
Right.
our strategies.
And just as our needs change, so do the resources available to us.
Oh, okay.
What might have felt like a personal struggle
Right.
at one stage of life can often be addressed with support.
Family, friends, community groups, or mental health professionals.
It's a good reminder that we don't have to go it alone.
We don't.
There's strength in seeking support
Absolutely.
and recognizing when we need guidance
It's okay to ask for help.
and a helping hand.
Exactly. And, while we've covered a lot today,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with this thought.
Okay.
True emotional well-being. It isn't about achieving some perfect state of happiness
Okay.
or being immune to life's challenges.
Right.
It's about developing resilience, self-awareness, and coping skills
Right.
to navigate the ups and downs with grace, courage, and hope.
It's about embracing the full spectrum of human experience.
Yes.
Recognizing that joy and sorrow, triumph and setback are all part of life.
Beautifully said. And as we conclude this deep dive,
Yeah.
I hope our listeners feel empowered to continue exploring.
This is a fascinating topic.
It is. Remember, even small steps,
Yeah.
taken with intention, can lead to big shifts in your well-being.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So start where you are
Yeah.
with what you have. And remember,
Yes.
you are capable of creating a life
Right.
that is rich with meaning,
Absolutely.
connection, and well-being.
Yes. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Of course.
Until next time,
Yeah.
keep learning, keep growing, and keep taking care of yourselves.
And remember, well-being is a journey, not a destination.
I love that.
We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration.
Sounds great.
And until then,
Take care.